Hey everyone, let me ask you something serious. What would you do if tomorrow morning you woke up and all the stores were closed? No grocery stores, no pharmacies, no nothing. Would you be okay for a week, a month, or would you panic after just a few days? I'm not trying to scare you, but in today's world, being prepared isn't paranoia, it's just common sense. We've all seen how quickly things can change. Remember the pandemic? Shelves were empty within days. And it's not just about pandemics. Power outages, natural disasters, economic crises. These things happen more often than we'd like to admit. That's why today, I'm going to share with you the top 15 things that every smart prepper buys in bulk. These aren't random items, these are the essentials that will keep you and your family safe, fed, and comfortable during any emergency. And the best part? Buying in bulk will actually save you money in the long run. Before we jump in, let me quickly tell you why bulk buying makes sense. First, you save money. Bulk prices are always cheaper than buying small quantities. Second, you're protected against inflation. Prices keep going up, so what you buy today will cost more tomorrow. Third, you're ready for emergencies. And fourth, you get peace of mind. There's something incredibly reassuring about knowing you're prepared. All right, let's dive into the list. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what you need to start stocking up on today. Let's start with the absolute foundation of any food storage plan: rice. Now, I know this might seem obvious, but hear me out because there's more to it than you think. Rice is incredible for preppers. Why? Because when stored properly, white rice can last anywhere from 20 to 30 years. Yes, you heard that right. 30 years. It's one of the most shelf-stable foods on the planet. It's packed with calories, it's filling, and it's versatile. You can eat it with literally anything. Now, how much should you store? For one person, you should aim for at least 25 to 50 kilograms per year. That might sound like a lot, but trust me, rice goes faster than you think, especially if it's your main carb source during an emergency. Here's a pro tip. White rice is better than brown rice for long-term storage. Brown rice has oils that can go rancid, so it only lasts about 6 months. Stick with white rice, basmati, jasmine, whatever you prefer, just make sure it's white. Storage is crucial. Keep your rice in airtight containers in a cool, dry place. Throw in a few bay leaves to keep insects away. Some people even use oxygen absorbers in Mylar bags for maximum shelf life. And if you're buying in bulk, hit up your local wholesale markets or warehouse stores. The savings are massive. Next up, we have lentils and beans. These are your protein powerhouses. In an emergency situation, getting enough protein can be challenging, especially if you're relying on stored foods. That's where lentils come in. Lentils are fantastic because they're packed with protein, fiber, and essential nutrients. And just like rice, they have an incredible shelf life, 5 to 10 years when stored properly. You've got your red lentils, green lentils, black lentils, chickpeas, kidney beans. The variety is endless, and each type brings something different to the table. The beauty of lentils is that they don't need much to prepare. Just water and heat, and you've got yourself a nutritious meal. Combine them with rice, and you've got a complete protein that'll keep you strong and healthy. For storage, keep them in airtight containers away from moisture and pests. Label everything with the purchase date so you can rotate your stock. The general rule is, use the oldest first, replenish with fresh stock. This way, nothing goes to waste. Number 3 is wheat flour. For those of us who eat bread, roti, or any baked goods regularly, flour is non-negotiable. It's the backbone of so many meals, and you definitely don't want to run out of it during an emergency. Now, flour is a bit trickier than rice or lentils because it doesn't last as long. Regular all-purpose flour lasts about 6 to 12 months. Whole wheat flour is even shorter, maybe 3 to 6 months, because the oils in the wheat germ can go rancid. But here's what you can do. If you're serious about long-term storage, consider storing whole wheat grains and a grain mill instead. Wheat berries can last 30 years or more, and you can grind them fresh whenever you need flour. It's more work, but the shelf life is unbeatable.
If you're sticking with regular flour, vacuum seal it or use airtight containers with oxygen absorbers. Keep it in a cool, dark place. Heat and humidity are flour's worst enemies. And remember to rotate your stock. Use it regularly in your cooking and replace it before it goes bad. Let's talk about cooking oil. This is something people often overlook, but it's absolutely essential.
Your body needs fats to function properly, and in a survival situation, calories from fat are incredibly valuable. Different oils have different shelf lives. Ghee, which is clarified butter, can last a very long time, years even, especially when stored properly. It's probably your best bet for long-term storage. Coconut oil is another great option with a decent shelf life. Regular vegetable oils, canola oil, and olive oil will last about 1 to 2 years, sometimes longer if unopened. The key to storing oil is keeping it in a cool, dark place. Light and heat cause oils to go rancid quickly, so keep your bottles tightly sealed and away from direct sunlight. How much should you store? Think about how much you use in a month, then multiply that by however many months you're prepping for. For most families, having 10 to 20 liters of various oils is a good starting point. And here's a quick tip. If you're storing multiple types of oil, prioritize the ones with longer shelf lives for your deep storage and keep the shorter lasting ones for regular rotation in your kitchen. Number 5 is salt and sugar. These might seem simple, but they're incredibly important for multiple reasons. Let's start with salt. Salt has an unlimited shelf life. It literally never goes bad. Beyond flavoring your food, salt is crucial for preserving other foods. You can cure meats, pickle vegetables, and make foods last longer. It's also essential for your body's electrolyte balance. Without enough salt, especially in a stressful survival situation, you can get seriously ill. You should have at least several kilograms of salt stored per person. It's cheap, it lasts forever, and it has so many uses beyond cooking. Get iodized salt for the health benefits, but also consider having some non-iodized salt for pickling and preserving. Now, sugar. Sugar is your energy source. It's also great for morale. A little sweetness can make a huge psychological difference during tough times. Sugar also has an indefinite shelf life when stored properly. Keep it in an airtight container to prevent moisture and clumping, and it'll last forever. Stock up on both white and brown sugar. You might also want to grab some honey, which not only lasts forever, but also has medicinal properties. Honey is antibacterial and can be used for wound treatment in a pinch. Now we're moving into what I call the critical category, and nothing is more critical than water. You can survive weeks without food, but you'll die in just 3 to 4 days without water. This is not something you can compromise on. Every person needs about 3 to 4 liters of water per day for drinking, cooking, and basic hygiene. Do the math. For a family of 4, that's 12 to 16 liters per day. For just 2 weeks, you're looking at over 200 liters. It adds up fast. Now, I know what you're thinking, storing that much water sounds impossible, but it's doable with proper planning. You can buy bottled water in bulk, which is convenient and portable. The downside is it takes up a lot of space and can be expensive. A better long-term solution is getting large water storage containers, the 5-gallon or 20-liter ones. Fill them with tap water, and if your tap water is already treated, it'll stay good for about 6 months. After that, you should rotate it, use the old water for plants or cleaning, and refill with fresh water. Keep your water storage in a cool, dark place. Heat and sunlight can cause chemicals from plastic containers to leach into the water, and they can also promote algae growth. Here's the bottom line. Water is your #1 priority. If you do nothing else from this video, please start storing water today. Everything else on this list becomes pointless if you don't have water. Hand in hand with water storage is water purification, because, let's be real, in a true emergency, your stored water will eventually run out. You need to know how to make questionable water safe to drink. There are several methods for purifying water, and you should have multiple options because redundancy is key in preparedness. First, unscented household bleach. Just a few drops per liter of water, let it sit for 30 minutes, and you've killed most harmful bacteria and viruses.
But here's the thing, bleach loses its potency over time. After about a year, it's significantly less effective. So rotate your bleach supply regularly. Second, water purification tablets. These are compact, lightweight, and have a decent shelf life, usually 4 to 5 years. They're perfect for bug-out bags and emergency kits. Third, water filters. There are portable filters that can remove bacteria, protozoa, and even viruses from water. Brands like LifeStraw and Sawyer are popular because they're affordable and effective. These filters can purify thousands of liters of water, making them an excellent investment. Fourth, know the boiling method. Boiling water for at least 1 minute kills pretty much everything.
It's the oldest and most reliable purification method. In higher altitudes, boil for 3 minutes. Having these purification methods gives you the ability to take water from rivers, lakes, or even rain and make it safe. This is Survival 101. Don't skip this. All right, let's talk about something nobody wants to think about, but everyone needs: toilet paper. Remember the great toilet paper shortage of 2020? People went absolutely crazy. And for good reason. Once it's gone, life gets very uncomfortable very quickly. Toilet paper is bulky, but it's worth storing. Figure out how much your household uses in a month, then stock up for at least 3 to 6 months. Yes, it'll take up space, but you'll be thanking yourself later. Beyond toilet paper, think about other hygiene essentials: toothpaste, toothbrushes, soap, shampoo, feminine hygiene products, diapers if you have young kids. These things might seem minor, but they're crucial for maintaining health and dignity during tough times. Here's something people don't think about. Hygiene products are also great for bartering. In a crisis, people will trade food for soap. These items become incredibly valuable when they're no longer readily available. Store these items in a dry place and keep them organized so you know what you have. Hygiene isn't just about comfort, it's about preventing disease. In an emergency where medical care might be limited, staying clean is your first line of defense against illness. Number 9 is first aid supplies, and this is something you absolutely cannot afford to overlook. In an emergency, you might not have access to hospitals or pharmacies, so you need to be able to handle medical issues yourself. Start with a comprehensive first aid kit. You need bandages of all sizes, gauze pads, medical tape, scissors, tweezers, and disposable gloves. These handle the basics: cuts, scrapes, and minor injuries. Next, antiseptics. Rubbing alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, and antibiotic ointment are essential for preventing infections. Even small wounds can become serious if they get infected, especially when you can't see a doctor. You also need over-the-counter medications: pain relievers like ibuprofen and acetaminophen, antihistamines for allergic reactions, antidiarrheal medicine, and cold and flu medications. Stock up on these while they're readily available. If anyone in your family takes prescription medications, this is critical. Try to keep at least a 1-month supply ahead. Talk to your doctor about getting extra prescriptions for emergency purposes. Some might be reluctant, but explain your situation. Many doctors understand the importance of being prepared. Also, get a good first aid manual. When you're stressed and dealing with an injury, you might not remember what to do. A manual can guide you through emergency procedures step by step. Keep your first aid supplies organized and easily accessible. In an emergency, you don't want to be frantically searching for a bandage. And check expiration dates regularly. Medications lose effectiveness over time. Let's talk about cleanliness. Soap and cleaning supplies might not seem as critical as food and water, but they're incredibly important for preventing disease and maintaining a livable environment. Stock up on hand soap, lots of it. Washing your hands regularly is one of the best ways to prevent illness. Get both liquid soap and bar soap. Bar soap lasts longer and takes up less space. You'll also need dish soap. Dirty dishes attract pests and bacteria, and in a survival situation, the last thing you need is a stomach illness from contaminated utensils. Laundry detergent is another essential. Clean clothes aren't just about smelling nice, they're about hygiene and health. Dirty clothes can cause skin irritations and infections. Bleach deserves special mention. Beyond water purification, bleach is an incredibly powerful disinfectant. You can use it to sanitize surfaces, clean bathrooms, and even wash fruits and vegetables.
A heavily diluted bleach solution kills almost everything. Just make sure you get unscented bleach. The scented ones have additional chemicals that can be problematic. All-purpose cleaners and disinfecting wipes are also useful. They make cleaning easier and more efficient. Here's an interesting point. In a barter economy during a crisis, cleaning supplies become surprisingly valuable. People will trade food for soap because staying clean becomes a priority when resources are scarce. Store these supplies in a cool, dry place, and remember, many of these products have limited shelf life, so rotate them regularly. Moving on to power and light, and we start with batteries. When the power goes out, batteries become your lifeline. They power your flashlights, radios, and other critical devices. The most common sizes you'll need are AA, AAA, and D batteries. Figure out what devices you have and stock accordingly.
A good rule of thumb is to have at least 3 sets of batteries for each device you own. Now here's a big question. Disposable or rechargeable? Both have their place. Disposable batteries have a longer shelf life. They can sit unused for years and still work when you need them. Rechargeable batteries are more economical and environmentally friendly, but they lose charge over time even when not in use, and you need power to recharge them. My recommendation? Have both. Keep disposable batteries for long-term emergency storage and use rechargeable batteries for everyday items. This gives you flexibility and redundancy. Storage is important. Batteries should be kept in a cool, dry place. Heat degrades batteries quickly. Keep them in their original packaging or in a battery organizer so you can easily see what you have. Also, check batteries periodically. Even new batteries can sometimes be duds, and you don't want to discover that in the middle of an emergency. Test them with a battery tester or by using them in a device. One more thing, consider getting some battery-powered devices that can also run on hand crank or solar power. This gives you options when your battery supply runs low. Let's talk about good old-fashioned fire, candles, and matches. In a power outage, these become incredibly valuable. They're simple, they're cheap, and they work. Candles provide light and, depending on the type, can burn for hours. Get long-burning candles that are designed for emergencies. Avoid scented candles. They're more expensive and the scent can be overwhelming in enclosed spaces. Stick with plain white candles or emergency candles that come in containers. Tea light candles are also great because they're small, affordable, and burn for several hours. You can buy them in bulk for very little money. Now matches. You'll want both regular matches and waterproof matches. Regular matches are fine for everyday use, but waterproof matches are crucial for emergencies where conditions might be wet or humid. Also, stock up on lighters. They're compact, reliable, and last a long time. Get the multi-purpose lighters with long nozzles. They're safer and more versatile. Here's a safety tip. Never leave candles burning unattended. In an emergency, the last thing you need is a fire. Always have a non-flammable surface under your candles, keep them away from curtains or anything that can catch fire, and make sure everyone in your household knows fire safety rules. Candles and matches are inexpensive, take up minimal space, and can make a huge difference in an emergency. Stock up on them. While candles are great, you also need flashlights and lanterns. These provide more reliable and safer lighting options. LED flashlights are the way to go. They're energy efficient, bright, and durable. Get a variety: small pocket flashlights for personal use and larger, powerful flashlights for lighting up rooms or outdoor areas. Headlamps are incredible because they keep your hands free. Whether you're cooking, reading, or doing repairs, a headlamp lets you work without juggling a light source. Lanterns are essential for lighting up entire spaces. Battery-powered LED lanterns are excellent. They provide 360-degree lighting and can last for hours on a single set of batteries. But here's where it gets even better. Solar-powered and hand crank options. These don't rely on batteries at all. You can charge them during the day with sunlight or generate power by cranking a handle. They might not be as bright as battery-powered options, but they'll work when everything else fails. For each family member, I recommend having at least one personal flashlight and one shared lantern or large flashlight for the household. Keep them in easily accessible locations, not buried in a closet somewhere. And here's a pro tip. Every few months, test your flashlights to make sure they still work and that the batteries haven't corroded. Replace batteries as needed and clean any corrosion from the battery compartments. Now let's get back to food with canned goods. Canned foods are a prepper's best friend because they're shelf-stable, nutritious, and convenient. The beauty of canned foods is their longevity. Most canned goods last 2 to 5 years, and many last even longer. As long as the can isn't dented, rusted, or swollen, the food inside is usually safe to eat well past the best buy date. What should you stock? Start with protein sources: canned tuna, salmon, chicken, and beef. These give you essential nutrients and are fully cooked, so you can eat them straight from the can if necessary. Canned beans are fantastic. Black beans, kidney beans, chickpeas, they're all packed with protein and fiber. Mix them with rice and you've got a complete meal. Don't forget canned vegetables. Corn, green beans, tomatoes, and mixed vegetables all have long shelf lives and provide important vitamins and minerals. Canned fruits are also valuable.
They give you natural sugars for energy and vitamins you might not get from other stored foods. Plus, they're a nice morale booster. A little sweetness goes a long way. Soups and stews are excellent because they're complete meals in a can. Just heat and eat. They're filling and comforting, especially during stressful times. When buying canned goods, look for pop-top cans when possible. In an emergency, if you don't have a can opener, pop-tops are a lifesaver. Organize your canned goods by type and expiration date. Use the oldest ones first and continuously rotate your stock. This ensures nothing goes to waste and you always have fresh supplies. Last, but definitely not least, we have plastic bags and storage containers. This might seem mundane, but these items are incredibly versatile and valuable in survival situations. Let's start with Ziploc bags. Get all sizes: sandwich bags, quart bags, gallon bags, and even the 2-gallon ones. You can use them to store food, organize small items, protect electronics from moisture, create makeshift ice packs, and 100 other things. Garbage bags are equally important. Obviously, you need them for trash, but they have so many other uses. You can use them as rain ponchos, ground covers, to line broken windows, to carry water, or even as makeshift storage. Get the heavy-duty ones. They're more durable and versatile. Plastic wrap and aluminum foil are also essential. Plastic wrap helps preserve food, while aluminum foil can be used for cooking, wrapping food, creating makeshift cooking surfaces, and even as insulation. Storage containers, think Tupperware-style containers, are crucial for organizing your supplies and protecting them from pests and moisture. They stack nicely, which saves space, and they keep your stored food fresher longer. The reason these items are so valuable is their versatility. In a survival situation, you need multi-purpose items, and plastic bags and containers fit that bill perfectly. They're lightweight, inexpensive, and have endless uses. Buy these items in bulk whenever you can. They don't expire, they don't take up much space, and you'll use them constantly, both in emergencies and in everyday life. All right, we've covered the 15 essential items, but before we wrap up, I want to share some crucial tips that'll help you implement everything we've discussed. First, let's talk about storage organization. This is huge. You can have all the supplies in the world, but if they're disorganized and you can't find what you need, it's useless. Use the FIFO system, first in, first out. This means you use the oldest items first and replace them with fresh stock. Label everything with purchase dates. I cannot stress this enough. When you're rotating your supplies, those labels are lifesavers. Keep your storage area climate controlled if possible. Heat and humidity are the enemies of stored goods. A cool, dry basement or closet is ideal. If you live in a hot climate, do your best to keep things as cool as possible and keep everything off the ground. Use shelves or pallets. This protects against flooding and pests. Speaking of pests, take prevention seriously. Use sealed containers, keep the area clean, and consider food-grade diatomaceous earth around your storage area. It's a natural pest deterrent that's safe for humans, but deadly for insects. Now, let's talk budget. I know this seems expensive, and it can be if you try to do everything at once. But here's the secret. Don't. Start small and build gradually. Set aside a little money each month for prepping supplies. Buy 1 or 2 items from this list every time you go shopping. Look for sales and discounts.
Warehouse stores often have amazing bulk prices. Sign up for newsletters from stores to get notified about sales. Buy seasonal items when they're cheap. Canned vegetables are usually cheaper right after harvest season. Consider joining warehouse clubs. The membership fee pays for itself quickly when you're buying in bulk. Some stores even offer free memberships for certain groups, so check your eligibility. Now, let me share some common mistakes that preppers make. Avoid these at all costs. Mistake number 1, overbuying perishables. Don't go crazy buying fresh food thinking you're preparing. Fresh food doesn't last. Stick to shelf-stable items unless you have proper preservation methods like canning or freezing with backup power. Mistake number 2, ignoring expiration dates. Yes, many foods last beyond their labeled dates, but you still need to track them. Eating spoiled food in an emergency will make everything worse. Mistake number 3, poor storage conditions. I've said it before, but it bears repeating. If you store food in hot, humid, or pest-prone areas, you're wasting your money. That food will spoil quickly. Mistake number 4, not rotating your stock. If you buy all this stuff and then forget about it for 5 years, much of it will be unusable when you actually need it.
Use it regularly and replace it. Mistake number 5, buying things you won't actually eat. Don't stock up on foods your family hates just because they have a long shelf life. In an emergency, morale matters. Familiar, enjoyable food makes a huge difference. Finally, a word on legal and safety considerations. Most of what we've discussed is perfectly legal everywhere, but if you're storing large quantities of certain items, especially things like fuel or chemicals, check your local regulations. Some areas have restrictions on storage amounts. Fire safety is paramount. Keep fire extinguishers accessible. Make sure everyone in your household knows where they are and how to use them. Have an emergency exit plan. Your prepping supplies won't help you if your house burns down. And lastly, make sure your family knows what you're doing. It does no good if you're the only one who knows where everything is and how to use it. Get everyone involved. Teach your kids age-appropriate preparedness skills. Make it a family effort. All right, let's quickly recap what we've covered today. We started with the food basics: rice, lentils, flour, cooking oil, and salt and sugar. These give you the calories and nutrition you need to survive. Then we moved to the most critical resource: water and water purification supplies. Remember, water is your absolute top priority. We covered hygiene with toilet paper, first aid supplies, and cleaning products. Staying clean and healthy is essential in any emergency. We talked about power and light: batteries, candles, matches, and flashlights. When the grid goes down, these become invaluable. And finally, we discussed canned foods and versatile items like plastic bags and containers. These 15 items form the foundation of a solid preparedness plan. But here's what I want you to do. Don't feel overwhelmed. You don't need to buy everything today. Start with water. That's step 1. Then move to food staples like rice and canned goods. Then hygiene and medical supplies. Then lighting and power. Build your supplies gradually and methodically. If you're serious about starting, here's my challenge to you. This week, buy one item from this list. Just one. Next week, buy another. Within a few months, you'll have built a substantial emergency stockpile without breaking the bank. The goal here isn't to live in fear. It's the opposite. Preparing gives you confidence and peace of mind. When bad things happen, and they do happen, you'll be able to take care of your family. There's no price you can put on that security. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps the channel grow and lets me know you want more content like this. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. I've got tons of preparedness content coming your way. And I want to hear from you. Leave a comment below and tell me, what do you already have stockpiled? What are you planning to buy next? Let's build a community of prepared and responsible people who support each other. Share this video with your family and friends. Preparedness isn't just about you. It's about making sure the people you care about are safe too. Remember, being prepared isn't about fear or paranoia. It's about responsibility, foresight, and love for your family.
It's about being smart enough to recognize that emergencies can happen and taking practical steps to be ready. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.